Good morning and welcome to Daily Briefing. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sarah. August 16th, 2026.
Quick check of the weather here in Parker. 61 degrees Fahrenheit and overcast right now, heading up to a high of 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Low tonight, 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Today, a vocal MAGA supporter sees his own wife detained by CE. Major drone strikes hit both Moscow and Kyiv, and bond traders panic over $70 billion in shadow credit backing AI ventures.
That is a massive set of headlines. Let's get into it.
All right, turning to U.S. news. We are following a striking report from the New York Times about federal immigration enforcement, hitting close to home for a staunch political conservative.
This involves a vocal political supporter whose undocumented wife was recently detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Right. He was a dedicated MAGA patriot, actively supporting strict federal immigration policies. But then ICE agents took his wife away, highlighting the sharp reality of these enforcement actions.
It really drives home the human impact. People often talk about strict policies in the abstract, but when it touches a dedicated supporter's immediate family, the political tensions get very personal and deeply complicated.
Exactly. The case is causing a lot of friction because it shows just how unyielding federal immigration enforcement is right now. It does not make exceptions based on political alignment.
What are people saying about the broader fallout?
It is sparking a huge conversation around the balance between strict federal policy and the real-world consequences on longtime residents and families. It brings those political tensions right to the surface.
Coming up, we turn to the global stage where a massive exchange of drone strikes and missile attacks has rocked Eastern Europe.
Moving on to global news. Ukraine has launched a major drone strike directly targeting Moscow, while Russian forces retaliated with heavy bombardment against Kyiv.
It shows both nations are sustaining long-range strike capabilities deep into each other's territory.
Yeah, the scale of this cross-border aerial warfare is escalating fast. And speaking of regional airspace, NATO had to step in directly over Romania.
That was a huge development. A NATO fighter jet actually intercepted and shot down an unauthorized drone that crossed into Romania's airspace.
Right along NATO's eastern flank, near the Ukrainian border. That shows just how high the military readiness is in that region right now.
One misstep near the border, and you have direct NATO engagement. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, cross-border hostilities are intensifying as well.
Lebanese health officials report that recent Israeli military strikes in Lebanon have killed 11 people.
It signals a continuing escalation in regional hostilities, threatening further stability across the Middle East, just as diplomacy is trying to take root.
Right, because at the exact same time, there is a high-level diplomatic push happening in Egypt. A senior Hamas delegation has arrived in Cairo for ceasefire negotiations.
And that comes right ahead of an upcoming visit by U.S. envoy Jared Kushner. These high-level talks are a pivotal diplomatic effort to broker a truce and address the worsening humanitarian crisis in Gaza.
Let's see if Cairo can produce a breakthrough. Up next, we have several major updates out of India, including a tragic story from a military base and a bizarre shooting at an airport.
On to India and Tamil Nadu. In cricket news, India has taken control of the first test match against Sri Lanka in Galle. Dhruv Jurel and Manav Sutar pushed India's total past 400 runs on day 2, thanks to a massive lower-order partnership.
That really puts India in a dominant position for the series opener. But shifting to news out of Mumbai, a tragic investigation is underway in Colaba.
An Indian Navy sailor, along with his wife and 2 young children, were found dead inside their official military residence. Local police and naval security forces have launched a joint investigation to determine what happened.
A terrible tragedy. And at Varanasi Airport, a severe security breach occurred when a passenger's licensed firearm accidentally discharged.
It actually injured 2 Air India Express ground staff members, raising critical security concerns about how personal weapons are handled inside airport facilities.
When we come back, we will look at financial markets, where a massive $70 billion shadow credit web for AI companies is giving bond traders nightmares. Let's talk markets. Bond traders are growing deeply anxious over $70 billion in off-balance sheet shadow credit, financing backing major artificial intelligence ventures.
$70 billion off the balance sheet? Walk me through why that is panicking the bond market.
Because these complex debt structures rely on AI capital expenditures delivering massive future returns. If those returns fail to materialize, it poses systemic risks to the broader financial markets.
So it is essentially a high-stakes gamble built on hidden leverage. And speaking of massive valuations in tech and finance, look at what is happening with the Chinese robot maker Unitree.
Unitree is preparing for an initial public offering in Shanghai at a $9 billion valuation. But traders on the hyperliquid decentralized exchange are already pricing it at $38 billion.
That is more than a four-fold premium over its actual IPO price. That kind of massive gap on a decentralized exchange creates massive liquidation risks for leveraged derivative traders if reality hits.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, legacy European banking giant UBS is doubling down on crypto in a major way.
Yeah, UBS expanded its exposure to BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF by increasing its call options holding 24-fold, bringing its total to 1.95 million shares.
That shows a massive institutional appetite for regulated Bitcoin products among top European banks. But over in Russia, the government is pulling the plug on crypto mining in its key power hubs.
Russian authorities issued a government decree banning cryptocurrency mining in Moscow and Kursk all the way through 2032.
That is a 12-year ban. Why such a drastic move?
To prevent severe grid overloads in the capital and surrounding areas. Since Russia is the world's second-largest Bitcoin mining power, shutting down mining rigs in Moscow directly impacts global Bitcoin hash rate stability.
That makes sense, though the entire crypto industry is shifting radically this year anyway. A new report shows that crypto startups raised $11.2 billion in early 2026, but every single dollar went toward regulated, permissioned entities.
That effectively marks the end of crypto's traditional permissionless era. Wall Street institutions and sovereign wealth funds are now completely dominating venture funding in the sector.
Right, they want regulatory compliance, not Wild West protocols. And you can see that institutional shift in tokenized real-world assets, too. Monthly trading volume for tokenized equities just surged 179% to $23.13 billion.
And the total number of tokenized asset holders more than doubled, reaching 1.31 million people. Mainstream investors are clearly adopting blockchain-based stocks at a rapid pace.
Coming up, we jump into tech and AI, featuring a black hole star discovered by the James Webb Space Telescope and a record-breaking double launch by SpaceX. On the tech side, SpaceX just set a brand new operational record by launching two Falcon 9 rockets just 38 minutes apart.
Launching two orbital rockets in under 40 minutes is incredible turnaround efficiency. It shows just how fast their launch cadence has become.
And while SpaceX is pushing orbital hardware, the James Webb Space Telescope just spotted something mind-bending in deep space. Astronomers discovered the existence of a black hole star.
A black hole star? How big is that?
It is glowing red in deep space and is literally the size of a solar system. The discovery was published in Nature. It completely challenges existing theories regarding star formation and cosmic evolution.
Cosmic evolution theories might need a total rewrite after that. Back down on Earth, autonomous vehicles just scored a huge regulatory win in California.
Waymo secured official regulatory approval to scale up its autonomous driverless taxi operations across California and launch services in two brand new markets.
That is a major commercial milestone for driverless taxis. They are moving from experimental rides to full commercial deployment.
Indeed. Now, on the software and AI research front, Anthropic published some fascinating new research detailing common design patterns and systemic challenges in emerging multi-agent AI systems.
Multi-agent systems are where multiple AI agents work together autonomously, right?
Exactly. Anthropic study gives developers critical insights into how to orchestrate complex, autonomous AI networks without them breaking down or looping unexpectedly.
Speaking of autonomous AI agents doing complex work, look at what researchers just pulled off with scientific computing code. They use CLI-based AI agents to port a massive legacy weather simulation codebase over to GPS.
We are talking about 2,500 lines of code.
250,000 lines of legacy code. Doing that manually takes years, but autonomous LLM tools accelerated the entire modernization process.
That is going to save scientific institutions thousands of hours. AI is making similar waves in medicine too. A new review in Nature details how artificial intelligence is reshaping pharmaceutical drug discovery.
It outlines both the current state and the remaining hurdles, showing how AI algorithms are streamlining early-stage molecular research and clinical pipelines to speed up life-saving treatments.
And finally, in tech, U.S. defense agencies are turning to commercial space startups to clean up orbit. They selected Firefly, Deorbit, and Catalyst to study commercial satellite disposal methods.
The goal is to foster technologies that can physically capture and deorbit aging spacecraft to reduce dangerous orbital debris.
When we come back, two legends enter the Hall of Fame, a world number one surges in the FedEx Cup playoffs, and a major tennis upset following Wimbledon. Moving on to sports and culture, we have to start with a massive moment for women's basketball. Elena Del Don and Candace Parker have officially been announced as inductees for the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame class of 2026.
Two absolute icons of the game. Their careers completely transformed the profile of women's basketball, so seeing them enter the Hall of Fame together in 2026 is so well-deserved.
A brilliant celebration for both of them. Meanwhile, in combat sports, Mackenzie Dern put on a clinic at UFC 330.
She delivered a dominant performance against Jillian Robertson to retain her 115-pound strawweight championship belt. That decisive win really solidifies her spot at the top of the division.
Over on the golf course, world number one Scottie Scheffler is putting on a masterclass at the St. Jude Championship.
He took complete control of the leaderboard during the FedEx Cup playoffs, keeping himself right on track to secure top seeding for the PGA Tour postseason.
He has been virtually unstoppable this season. But over in tennis, Novak Djokovic suffered an unexpected early exit at the Cincinnati Open.
He was ousted in his very first match since Wimbledon. It was his first tournament back, and dropping out so early raises real questions about his hard-court form with the U.S. Open right around the corner.
It definitely throws the U.S. Open draw wide open. From shifting global alliances and high-tech market shifts to human stories close to home, today reminds us how quickly the landscape is evolving around us.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care, everyone.